Welcome to Jim and Julie's Adventures. In part 2 of our epic RV trip in the American Southwest, we go bar hopping on Whiskey Row in the historic town of Prescott, hike to 3 hidden caves in Sedona, sip on artisanal coffee in the haunted town of Jerome, and even try our luck at securing an Angel's Landing lottery permit at Zion National Park. Fingers crossed! And we finished the journey by driving across the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Well, we're on the road again.
That sounds like a Willie Nelson song.
On the road again.
We went to Vegas, we did the Sphere, we did the Valley of Fire, and we went to a magic show, Matt Franco. Then we went to Lake Havasu, saw a friend, went to the lake.
Slot Canyon hike.
After the 3.5-hour drive from Lake Havasu to Prescott, we arrived at the Fairgrounds RV Park.
After getting settled, we headed straight downtown to explore Whiskey Row, Prescott's famous historic district. Our mission was to find a hidden speakeasy called The Point. A true speakeasy is meant to be elusive, and this one was no exception, as you will see. Before searching out the speakeasy, we went to dinner at the Palace Saloon. The Palace opened its doors in 1877 and is the oldest saloon in Arizona. It has a Wild West atmosphere with memorabilia from the Old West, including a preserved Brunswick bar from the 1900s and an old safe. The 1972 movie Junior Bonner, starring Steve McQueen, was filmed there. The food was good and it was a great experience. We highly recommend going in there if you're in Prescott.
Thanks for the drink, cowboy.
After our delicious dinner, we set out to find the speakeasy, and there was nothing easy about it. It was not at the first door we tried.
I can't open it.
Or the second. Third time's a charm, and we were in. The Point Bar and Lounge was larger inside than we have seen in other speakeasies. Other than the door being inconspicuous and around back, it seemed like any other bar lounge. But it was nice inside and the drinks were good, and we got another speakeasy checked off our list. Actually 2. We have another one coming up in Springdale near Zion later in the video.
Good luck.
After the speakeasy, we ventured into Matt's saloon for another drink.
Hey, cowboy, want to join me?
It looks like they do a lot of dancing there. The prices were good, the drinks were great, and the atmosphere was fitting for Whiskey Row. Then we snuck a peek inside Jersey City Saloon. We didn't get any drinks here, we just went in to see how it looked.
Cider margarita?
Back at the RV, we relaxed and got ready for an early morning rise to hike in Sedona.
Are you ready to go hiking?
We went to Sedona on 2 different days and did 3 cave hikes. The Subway Cave, the Birthing Cave, and the Robber's Roost Cave.
The first hike we did was the Subway Cave, located off the Boynton Trail.
This is the Boynton Canyon Trail. It has 3-in-1 hikes on it. It has a vortex one. We're gonna do the Subway. That's an offshoot off of this hike. And then go to the end of this.
This is a popular hike, and the Subway Cave is not easy to find and not easy to get into. We made a separate video for all 3 cave hikes that has information on how to find the Subway Cave and the 2 different ways to get into it. One way is harder than the other, but the easier option involves a cliff. So if you plan to do this hike, you will want to watch that video. See the link in the description.
After visiting the subway cave, we continued on to the end of the Boynton Trail for a view of the canyon at the end.
This is Ollie after a 8-mile hike today. Ollie, are you tired? Ollie? Are you tired? You want to go for a walk?
On the second day, we did the Birthing Cave and the Robber's Roost Cave.
We're headed to the Birthing Caves. We downloaded the map before we started, but then when we got here, it pulled up a different map, so we're kind of winging it.
The Birthing Cave is not far from the subway cave. We took the same route to get there as the subway cave, but did park in a different location. This is also a popular hike, so expect to share the view with others. Information about this hike is on the other video as well. The Robber's Roost Cave was not in the same area as the first two hikes and involves a drive on a gravel road.
This is the trail after you just get off the road, and we're headed that way. Luckily, there's only one other group here.
It is not as popular as the first two hikes, probably because of the road to get to the trailhead. We gave some details about this hike also in the other video, including a sketchy part that might be a concern to some people. This is a shorter hike, but has an awesome payoff, and you might just be there by yourself.
While on the way back, we saw a colorful snake that was pretty long. If you know what kind of snake this is, please tell us in the comments.
Jerome is located between Prescott and Sedona. We drove through this small, possibly haunted historic town 4 times on our way to and from Sedona. On one of those trips, we stopped in to see what all the fuss was about. As we climbed the steep switchbacks and narrow streets, the town and its colorful buildings gradually comes into view.
Jerome was founded during the copper boom of the late 19th century and is now a popular tourist destination, drawing visitors from all over the world because of its history and natural beauty. Today you can explore historic buildings, learn about the town's mining past, and even take a ghost tour.
Our first objective was to get coffee at the artesian coffee shop, the Prickly Pear Espresso and Company. The hidden gem is owned and operated by my niece Janisha and her husband Ezra. The coffee shop is located under the New State Motor Company building at the northwest end of Main Street. Ezra and Janisha also write and produce music, and wrote the song that's playing now. See the link in the description for their music. Ezra has mastered the craft of making artesian coffees. We loved watching him prepare his unique blends using traditional methods, but most of all, we thoroughly enjoyed sampling the distinctive blends. Thanks, Ezra, for all the coffee samples. They were great, and we will be back for more.
After making our coffee, Ezra gave us a tour of the area around the coffee shop. It is an old automotive garage turned into a museum of sorts, complete with a 1936 Plymouth 4-door sedan, garage receipts from the late 1920s, and more old memorabilia.
There used to be a ramp from the main street that would loop around to this entrance where you first walked in, so cars would be driving in from the street just into here to be worked on.
Ezra's mother, Janie, owns and operates a clay art studio in the same building. Janie's clay collections are an eclectic mix of animal and Bible story sculptures. Janie hiked 1,900 miles on the Appalachian, Pacific Crest, and Oregon Coast trails, and her story is reflected in her art. Make sure to stop in there and check it out when you get your coffee. After getting coffee and a tour of the museum and art studio, we went to the highly recommended kaleidoscope shop. Nellie Bly Kaleidoscopes is a must-visit shop for everyone visiting Jerome. This unique store is renowned for its extensive collection of handcrafted kaleidoscopes from around the world, featuring pieces by over 90 artists. We bought one for our grandkids. Next, we went to the Altai Leather Designs leather shop, best known for its high-quality handcrafted leather products. We each had a custom belt made by the owner's son, Zach. He was very nice and full of information, and the belts were perfect.
I wear mine now every day. I even wear it with sweatpants.
Before leaving Prescott, we visited Watson Lake. It is a man-made lake surrounded by scenic natural beauty with a variety of outdoor activities. We did not have time to walk the trail around the lake, but plan to return in October to see our friends who live in Prescott, and we'll do it then. We just left Prescott. Now we're headed to Zion. We put in this morning for our permits to do Angel's Landing. We have 3 days to hopefully get one of them. So we're crossing our fingers, hopefully. How long is our drive today to get to?
Today's drive is about 6 hours, a little less, from Prescott to RV park just outside of Zion.
What are you doing?
I'm pushing the flight attendant button.
Oh, what do you need?
A refill on the coffee,
Please.
please.
One of the things I like about traveling in an RV versus a trailer or fifth wheel is I'm able to get up and move around and play stewardess, aka Jim's personal assistant, while he drives. Don't forget to turn your light off.
Thank you.
On our way to Zion, we came upon an old abandoned motel that is now used as an art canvas for the Painted Desert project. The motel is the Anasazi Inn at Gray Mountain, about 40 miles north of Flagstaff on Highway 89.
We arrived at the Zion River Resort RV Park in Springdale. We went to a speakeasy in Springdale called Cowboys and Angels to meet up with some friends who are locals. We had a great time catching up with our friends and learning about the speakeasy from the owner. Topher was our mixologist. He was great and definitely knows the craft. We got another speakeasy checked off the list. We are on a quest to find speakeasies in the places we visit, so if you have any recommendations, please let us know in the comments. While we were waiting to see if we got the permits for the Angel's Landing hike, our local friend Pat took us on the Many Pools hike in Zion. The hike does not require a permit and does not require taking one of the shuttles into the canyon. Pat knows Zion well and took us past the pools to some scenic views of the area. This hike had more than just great views. There was a tunnel, a small slot canyon, petroglyphs, and a partial cave at the end. And of course, the pools. This hike is not as popular as many of the other hikes, so you might have a better chance of spotting wildlife than spotting other people. Unfortunately, we did not get the lottery for Angel's Landing, so we did the alternative, the West Rim Trail. This hike is the same trail as Angel's Landing until you get to Scout Lookout at the base of Angel's Landing. This hike includes most of the same breathtaking views of the cliffs and canyons as Angel's Landing, but does not require a permit or have any of the scary parts that Angel's Landing is known for. We made a separate video of this hike and gave all the details about it. I also talked with the ranger about piggybacking on somebody else's Angel's Landing pass, and that didn't go over very well. Check out the link in the description to see how that went.
On the way home, we boondocked for one night on BLM land near the Bonneville Salt Flats. We pretty much had the place to ourselves and only saw one other RV.
We drove out on the salt flats and flew the drone and took some pictures. I thought it was cool, but Jim was not impressed. I think it is a must-see at least once.
During the 2-day drive home, we boondocked at the Wild Horse Resort and Casino near Pendleton.
We had a lot of fun on this trip and have already begun planning the next one. If you have any recommendations for places to go and see in the Arizona-Utah area, please let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. We would be grateful if you would like this video and subscribe to our channel to see more of our adventures. Happy travels!